What if I told you that your retirement is going to be okay? You just have to manage it right now. Would you be excited or would you be concerned? What if I told you that there are things that you can do to mitigate losing funds in your retirement? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today in today's financial mastery month video. So I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of DMs and calls because folks are worried about their retirement with the stock market going up and down, and rightfully so, right? Considering that we are, especially if you're within 5 years of retirement and the market is going up and down, and you see the changes in your account, you are basically asking the question, hey, how do I rebound? Will you have the time to rebound with your money? And the thing is that you may or may not, depending on how things are going to go. We don't know how the rest of this is going to play out with all the changes that are coming about. And so it's really important for you to relook at, um, what and how you have your money invested. So let's go to basics of retirement plans and what you need to know. So let's talk about that first and then we'll move forward. Anyway, if you were wondering who I am, if you're on my channel, it's your girl Saran, and I work with high income women to go from chaos to calm with their finances so they can have a better life. And right now, we are in a situation of chaos potentially with the financial markets shifting. So let's talk about the basics of the retirement plans. Retirement plans like 401ks, IRAs, pensions, investment, they are long-term investment vehicles. They are not short-term investments. They aren't something that you're putting money in to see a return tomorrow or within a week or within a month. You're looking at returns for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You're putting those monies away for your future self to be able to retire comfortably with the finances that you need. Now, the thing is that most retirement accounts are tied to the stock market through ETFs, index funds, and sometimes direct stock, right? And when the market shifts, depending on what kind of retirement vehicle you have your money in, you're going to see either a bump in your retirement or you're going to see it go down. The idea is that you want to grow this wealth over time, and it's easier when you have more time for the market to shift and go through the ups and the downs with as it grows. Now, when you are within 5 years of that retirement, you're probably thinking, you really cannot handle the large dips in the market where you're looking at losses. I mentioned before that there's a client that, lost over $70,000 within a week in their retirement account. We were able to secure it by moving it to another vehicle that wasn't tied to the market. But again, to secure the base, it is a thing where the market is going up and down, but they were within a year of retirement. There was no time to recoup those funds. Now, with the current market conditions, it's experiencing some severe volatility. It is due to, we have the inflation concerns, we have the interest rate shifts, we have the tariffs, we have the geopolitical tensions, we have so many people losing their jobs. I live in the Maryland, D.C. area, and there is a lot of federal employees, and we have a lot of federal employees who are unfortunately losing their main source of income. And that becomes a problem financially, obviously, for obvious reasons. But it also can impact your retirement funds, right? For those who are still working, you're going to see, and close to retirement, you're going to see some some dips that are going to put you at a place where you may see a dip that you may be seriously uncomfortable with. But this is the time not to panic, but it is to make sound decisions, to work with someone who can put your money in places that you can secure the foundation. You want to be able to understand how your portfolio was set up. Are you out of balance? Most people are out of balance. Most people only really have a savings account and a retirement account. They haven't taken advantage of all the vehicles that are available to them, so they have some diversification. And so now's the time to really start thinking about it, right? One of the things I noticed in the stock trading group that I'm in, the conversation is different in the stock trading group because they're saying, hey, here's a list of stocks that are on sale now. Who's buying? Or how much of it are you buying? We're looking at buying in the stock group because we see a sale, whereas in some instances people are seeing a loss because they're in different portfolios. So it really depends on what side of the pendulum you're on. Are you on the side that where you're buying the stocks on sale, or are you on the side where you're losing money in your retirement fund because you don't have control to trade out of those stocks or get out of those funds or make the changes that you need to make? Because the reality is that the purpose of a lot of the funds is that you're buying those stocks and getting into those ETFs and index funds over time. So you're using what they call dollar cost averaging, where you're getting into them at different prices, and essentially you're going to have an average price that you're going to pay. I have a funny joke when it comes to dollar cost averaging. I was telling someone that, well, I was dollar cost averaging ribs because I was cooking out, and I like to have cookouts. I'm going to probably have a few. And so I noticed in the wintertime that you can get the same slab of ribs for half the price that you pay in the summertime. So in the wintertime, I just started buying a couple of slabs every time I went shopping, just so that when the summertime came around, I had enough for all the parties I was going to have. And I didn't have to pay the high market price. Same thing with stocks. I know it's a super silly example, and you're probably like, why does she say ribs? But it's one of those things, right? But you want to buy things when they're low and sometimes when they're high to get a good average price. But the reality is, for everyone that's in the market through their retirement accounts, through stock investing, through any type of way that you're in, if you're using REITs, index funds, however, if you're day trading, if you're doing cover calls, is to manage your mindset. Because especially when it comes to retirement, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. We are going for the long term, focus on the long term trends, especially if you have time to recover. Now, if you don't have time to recover, or if it's just too stressful emotionally, there are options that you can be moved, that vehicles your funds can be moved to safely with no penalty and no tax, that will protect your principal balance. If you want assistance with that, jump into my DM, send me a text, shoot me an email. I'm happy to assist you with that. Now, you still do want to keep contributing. If you feel confident, or there are other places we can redirect it where you can still contribute towards retirement, but move yourself from a place where you're not in the volatile market and the volatility of the market that we have now. Because this isn't the first time the market has gone down, and it won't be the last time that it goes down. So things you can do right now that I mentioned: review your retirement plan allocations. You can work with your financial advisor through your job plan, or you can reach out to me and we can set something up and I'll help you. You can make sure your emergency fund is intact. And an intact emergency fund is 6 to 9 months of living expenses. 6 to 9 months of living expenses. That means you can pay all your living expenses in cash. That's an emergency fund. If you're not there, then get there fast as you can. Get to your first 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, but you want to get there fast. And don't dip into your retirement to take care of short-term needs, if at all possible. And I know that may be a challenge for those who were just recently laid off, because you may not have had any other savings, and I understand. But we need to think about how you can do it. And then for those that are close to retirement and your plan allows you to, you can think about some type of conversion or rolling the money out to different vehicles where it can be solidified, right? And that's what we want to do. Because again, my goal is to bring you to a place of calm with your finances. And the C is mostly about control. And so we want to be able to do that. So if you need that, DM me. If you are concerned, you have questions, you can always reach out to me. I'm not hard to find. I'm always on live. How about that? And that really is today's live. So it's your girl Saran. Peace, love, and light. Let's get your money right. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.